And now, folks, let us take you to reporter Dave Strider with Major Raymond Luxury Yacht with a live-action interview in the field.
Thanks for that, Chris. Good morning, CSA, and welcome to this exclusive interview with Confederate soldier. I'm Dave Strider, here with, and what's your name, sir?
Raymond Luxury Yacht.
Your name is Luxury Yacht?
Raymond Luxury Yacht, yes.
Oh, okay. I understand that you're 46 years old.
What?
You're 46 years old?
Years, yes.
Yes, okay. Quite impressive. Now, what is your rank as a soldier in the Confederate Army?
Major Raymond Luxury Yacht, sir.
You don't have to call me sir, Major.
I like to respect people.
Well, I appreciate that. That rank is also impressive.
Oh, thank you.
Do you have any family back home?
I used to. Yes, I did.
What are their names?
Well, my wife, Luba, and my precious children, Lev, Barak, Jacob, and Sonia.
Those sound like very nice children.
They were.
Do you plan on rejoining them after the war?
Well, I would, but they're all dead, you see. Every single one of them.
How did that happen?
Well, it all started when the cat caught fire. It just started scurrying about in the living room. Yeah. And it just got the drapes ablaze, and that ultimately led to their burning to death.
Of course. That happens.
Yeah, it does.
Very sorry to hear about that.
That's right.
You got that yanked, didn't you?
That scream?
Good job. So, where were you born?
Well, Montgomery, Alabama.
Oh, so no wonder you joined the Confederacy.
What do you mean by that?
I don't mean anything. So what was your reason for joining the war?
Well, loyalty to my home state and all that, but more personally, my family had always relied on the labor of slaves to keep our plantations going. And, you know, if we see a world where there's no slavery, well, we don't know how we'll survive. Also, my friends and I have always kind of liked the idea of secession.
And we appreciate that you support slavery in such a way. It's a quick shout out to our friends over at Slaves R Us Incorporated Auction House, owned by Slave Co.
Where you buy the slaves?
We do work for you. Slaves R Us. So, once you joined the Army, what did they do to prepare you for battle?
Well, we got the bullet and guns and all that, you see.
I do see.
Yeah, good. But, you know, we also got these uniforms. Came with gloves that I don't have on me now. I had to use them as food. But they had the cufflinks on them that helped us prepare us for winter battles. But it was cold in the winter.
And what did you do between battles?
Well, mostly make fire and, you know, sing and dance. Most of the youngers do that one, though. And my buddy even willed me a harmonica out of wood. He's very good, you see.
What do you plan on doing once the war's over?
Well, I don't really.
Sorry about that, folks. We had to... You right there?
Yeah, but...
Sorry about that, folks. We had to move interview locations because there was a battle going on right where we were interviewing earlier. All right. So you were telling us about what you did between battles,
Yeah.
Major.
Well, it wasn't always exciting. Sometimes you just watch the weather change and wish this cursed war would be over.
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. We can stop now if you want to.
No, I'm fine. Do you have any more questions for me before I go and beat more Yankees?
Well, first I'd like to ask if you were ever wounded during the battle.
Yes, actually, I got shot right in my knee. See, I used to be a corporal like you,
Yeah.
but then I took this little ball right in the knee, and they promoted me to major for some reason. You see how it's curved? The rifling makes it go spin, 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 boom, into the dead person.
Oh, like
Even
you.
though I didn't die, because it was just my knee.
Of course. And then I just have one final question.
My army pocket. Yes?
What happens to the dead bodies on the battlefield?
Oh, I'm not proud to say this, but, well, this isn't at all common, but I remember one time me and my comrades were sitting in the ditch under heavy Union fire when all of a sudden a shot rang out and Johnson lay there in a pool of his own blood, dead. Well, right about that time we realized we had run out of our provisions and we ate Johnson.
No.
Yes. Well, George died. I'm sorry, my dear, it's stifling. Well, he just did admit that he was Jewish, and he couldn't eat Johnson because he wasn't kosher.
Oh no.
Yeah. Well, you never rabbi to bless the body, so Goldstein went without. And wouldn't you know it, he was the next to go. Didn't matter to us he wasn't kosher. That's for sure.
That's horrible. Well, we appreciate it, Major. And we appreciate what you've done for this wonderful Confederacy and all that it stands for. So, folks, this has been an exclusive interview with Major Raymond, Luxury Yacht. Tune in tomorrow to see something else. Back to you in the studio, Chris. Get your slaves here. Slaves are our auction house. Best slaves in the South. Yeah, 'cause slavery's still legal here. Boo Abe Lincoln. Anyhow, you, sir, would you like to buy a slave?
Me?
Yes, you.
Why, what would I do with a slave?
Well, he can play piano too darn tootin' good.
Well, I don't own a piano.
Or you can get him to build you one. 'Cause he can do whatever you want.
He can build a piano?
If you want him to, and if you don't, just beat him.
Does he talk?
You want him to talk?
Maybe.
You say, what are you doing? He told you to talk. What's wrong with you? Be quiet.
I think you should beat me.
Come and look at him. Take a look. See how scrawny he is? You don't have to feed him nothing.
How is this a survival?
I'm
I
not
really
really
don't
sure.
know.
I believe he feeds off his little growth he's coming out of his head there.
I mean, look at this. I can fit my hand around his wrist.
Like I said before, real cheap to feed. Cheap to upkeep. Built to pianos.
You know what? I think I'll take it.
Of course you will. Here we have just another happy customer coming in at Slaves R Us.
Why, here you go, slave auctioneer. You're coming with me.
Alright, you're good with it.
Thank you for that interview, Dave. Now to the next segment.
Hello, audience. Today we're going to talk about our railroad tracks. So, our Confederate men, they don't have nearly as many tracks as the Northerners do, and yet we're still amazing. And our tracks have been sabotaged by those Yankees, and they're still amazing. Our men, they can do everything. And even though we don't have trains to go on these tracks, we're still amazing. Now, our nation's tracks, that the North have an abundance of, are a reliable means of transportation. Let's take a look at these tracks right here. Okay. Does the engine number 1 Confederate want to go on the dumb Yankee tracks? No. No! Because the dumb Yankee tracks are dumb, and even though they have 22,000 miles, they're ugly and wimpy. Now, the Confederate choo-choo tracks. We might only have 9,500 miles, but they're strong, and they are choo-choo train worthy. Excuse me. Thank you. Now, and we use our trains very well, because at the First Battle of Manassas, we used our trains to supply soldiers, and we made those Yankees run back in defeat. They retreated. That's how awesome we are. We're pretty awesome. Alright, so, in conclusion, while the Yankees have more supplies, we have Confederate pride, and our men are brave, and even our women are braver than a Yankee man. Thank you. Good night.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm with political comedian Nicholas Fain and his editorial.
I'm glad to be here, Chris. Thanks for the invitation.
You're quite welcome.
So basically, what I do is I take the newspaper from today and I just offer my own skewed opinion on it. So let's look at today. It says Sweet Home Fort Sumter. On today, the 2-year anniversary of the capture of Fort Sumter by our glorious Confederate troops. And then they go out there and they fight for their lives. And they shoot those Yankees. And I'm just so proud of them. If we all could be in the Confederate Army, I think we would. All right. I want to go. If I had a refrigerator and I just took it and I hauled it to the top of the highest mountain and then I threw it off, that would not even come close to the amount of and then they came and they fought for our freedom and they fought for our way of life. We will secede from that horrible union if we like to. And you just can't. You can't.
It's okay now. Just let it out, man.
Now let's get to what we really came here to talk about today. This is interesting. Today, they decided to pick on the 2-year anniversary. It says, Lincoln proclaims emancipation. Now, who does he think he's gonna go and he's gonna sign a document? He's gonna get his quill. He's gonna sign, and then he thinks we're just gonna listen to him, because we can't listen to him. He signed the document. He didn't say it out loud. We have to read to him, and we just can't do that. Look at these people. Look at this. They're trying to say they're happy. They're not happy. You know what they're gonna do? They're gonna get freedom, in the North at least, because that tyrant doesn't know what he's doing, leading this country. They're gonna get freedom, and they're gonna go out there and try to get a job, and no one's gonna give them one. They're gonna try to make money and get food for their family, and they're not gonna get any of that. They're gonna die. They could be helping build this country up, and instead they will be dying and filling this country's landfills. That is pathetic. First of all, who do we think we are? We have all this water and food and cool air. We have these magic picture boxes, while our valiant soldiers are out there risking their lives for our southern way of life. What is this? What is this?
Calm down, Nick. It's okay. We're just bringing the people the news. They need to know these things.
Oh yeah. Sorry. I'm a little shooken up about that tyrant Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation. It is ridiculous.
Yes, you were going to tell us about that.
Of course. But first I'd like to say that Lincoln is a horrible, filthy, good-for-nothing scoundrel and has never done anything good for this nation, or for any nation, or for that nation.
Oh, okay. We understand that now you're talking about the proclamation. Get on with it, man.
Excuse me. I'll try to get on with it then. This tyrant is attempting to ruin the southern way of life. Put us all out of business. Put us all in the landfills. But it ain't working. Is it, Abe? We in our own country now, and you can't do nothing about it.
Now, what exactly did he try to do to our way of life?
He tried to ban slavery. He says he's going to set all the slaves free. Then he's going to fill them up with the landfills. But where are they going to go? I'm waiting for honest Dr. Abe to come skippity on down here and make us let them go. They're the only way we've got to live, and our business is useless without them.
I see we all feel quite strongly about this, but you just over the top. Why?
Well, why wouldn't I? It is an outrage.
How do you feel about our secession, though?
So you mean our secession from the tyrants? From the tyrants we see?
Yes, that one. Yes.
It is the best thing that has happened in this world. I would have hated to be stuck to those darn Yankees for a second longer. And I am so proud of our soldiers, because they go out there, and they take their rifles in this hand, and they take the head of the Yankees in the other hand, and they just shoot them off, you know? I'm so proud of them for all that they've done for this country and for this Confederacy. And with that, I'd like if you could play us a song.
Why, sure, Nick. Just hand me that there banjo.
This is going out to all those Confederates fighting for our way of life.
Oh, the South is very grand, and Nick, he knows what he's talking about. And if that honest Abe was to come down here, then we would kick his butt.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Oh. All you good old Southern boys fighting out for our freedom. Thank you. And good night. Good morning, CSA. This is the Confederate Broadcasting Network reporting news from the front, back, and sides.
It is April 12th, 1863, the 2-year anniversary of the Battle of Fort Sumter, the first battle of the Civil War.
First of all, let's give our viewers some history of the beginning of our fight for our Southern way of life.
Okay. On April 10th, 1861, Brigadier General P.G.T. Beauregard, having been sent by our President Jefferson Davis, led his forces to the Charleston Harbor in South Carolina and demanded that the Union soldiers commanding Fort Sumter surrender the fort and evacuate it at once. The commanding officer of the fort, Major Robert Anderson, refused, even though Fort Sumter was the last piece of federal property below the line separating North and the South that the Union still controlled.
Beauregard responded to this reply by having his Confederate batteries open fire upon the fort at approximately 4 a.m. on April 12, 1861. In all, 43 Confederate cannons and mortars fired upon Fort Sumter.
Anderson's troops were unable to respond quickly, but indeed they did eventually respond, discharging about 1,000 rounds at our troops, who in turn sent 4,000 rounds into the walls and courtyard of Fort Sumter.
Wow, we sure do have great troops. This back and forth firing continued for 34 hours until Anderson accepted defeat, flew a white flag signifying his surrender.
All in all, the only casualty was a mule, although one Union soldier was killed when a cannon exploded while firing a salute during the Union troops' evacuation of the fort.
So there you have it, folks. The fight that started it all became a victory for the South, and we snapped them like this carrot.
Indeed we did. As a recap, the first battle of our Civil War occurred in Charleston Harbor, South Carolina, with Brigadier General Beauregard leading his CSA forces to victory over Major Robert Anderson. After 34 years of perpetual bombardment, there were no human casualties during the battle, so the first battle actually resulted in no bloodshed.
Except for that mule,
That poor mule.
for whom we feel dearly sorry that he got dragged into the Union cause, because we all know that it is a lost one.
May God rest his soul. Thank you for tuning in to CBN today, and
Tomorrow, we'll have Miss Abigail Nancy to teach us how to make the best sweet tea, cornbread, and fried chicken.
with that, we bid you adieu.
The South is rising.